Take the towel down, please, James. Thank you, sir. What's up, everybody? As you can see, urgent alerts happening right now. We have the 20 and the 50 daily moving average crossing as we speak right now. Now, it's quite interesting that Bitcoin's been fighting this $21,000 resistance. It's fighting. And ultimately, when we look at an area of that we want to break through, this is a zone bears are trying to hold. This is where the shorters are trying to keep control of the market. But Bitcoin's just not pulling back. It's pulling back little bits, coming to early 20s, and it's going straight back there. Now, every time Bitcoin goes back up to 21K, the altcoins are going higher and higher and higher. Now, this is an important indicator, not for the super long term, but confirming that the next 4 weeks can be incredible for the market. And we are starting to get used to the gains again. That FOMO is coming back in. Everything's starting to look great and green. As we look, let's have a look here. You could see, look at this week, guys. Incredible. Speaking about Doge, I see someone spoke there. Doge on a 1 hour is possibly breaking another flag. So maybe one more leg from Doge. We'll go through that. I know we got SHIB also bumping. So the meme coins are moving as we speak as well. But the biggest thing is we do have a big flashing alert coming from Bitcoin. And then we have dominance completely tanking. Look at this. Altcoins, baby, altcoins. And it's at the point, if it drops this low over here, it's quite ridiculous on where it can go next. And that can be the continuation. We have the dominance dropping. We have the USDT dominance dropping. We have Bitcoin, ETH to Bitcoin dropping. We have ETH dominance pumping right now. It's altcoin time. They say smart money, follow the money. The money's in and it's running. We stick with that. No more wasting time, James. Let's get into the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the charts, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Yo, Banter fam, what's happening? Bulls, how we feeling? Bears, how we feeling? Put in the comments. I want to know, yes, the Bulls do get hyped up through these times, and we're allowed to, because the Bears get really hyped up in their time. I want to know what the Bears are thinking. Are we still going? Are we still going to get rejected at 21 and go back down? Bulls, are we going to go to 25, 30K? Interesting times, guys. If you are brand new, smash a like, smash the subscribe button. Beloved community, smash that love button, like button, sorry. Remember, guys, to follow me on Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm starting to put a lot of charts there again and starting to get back into flow there. This is where you're going to keep in contact with us. Make sure you're following all of our social media platforms. Remember, we do have the competition running at the moment. We are currently running over $100,000 competitions between ByBit and BitGet. Either one, you can see which one you want. I'm doing pretty well on BitGet. My ByBit one's coming to life. I'll show you guys what I'm doing there. Remember, in order to join, you just got to be using one of our links. Remember, guys, this does support the channel financially. We bring a lot to you guys free every day. Let me turn off the music. And by using these links, it gets you a lot of access. Now, not only can you get into the competition, you can also get into our private Discord where we have VIP, we have short-term trades. These things are pumping right now. Guys, we've learned that when the market's going boring, it is hard, but when the markets are moving like this, we are the top channel in the world in a bullish market. We're learning. I'm learning personally how to become really good in the bear market. And I think Kyle's played a big role in that part. But in the bull market, we absolutely destroy. And ultimately, we're learning to become a balanced channel where we can be good in all areas. But to all of those that supported and loved us and stayed through all of it, we're going to reach the rewards. We will kill it together. So make sure, guys, and remember BBS as well, tons of alpha on there. I actually bring guys on the show. If you're doing a lot there and you're helping the community, you posting your charts, I'll bring you on the show and I'll give you some love and make sure the community finds out about you. It's all about us growing together and doing well together. Now, let's jump into the charts. Let's go have a look. What's this indicator that's flashing? We do have the 20 crossing the 50. Now, this on a daily, it's a good weekly sort of, 3-4 weeks, 6 weeks sort of indicator that when this happens, it's a retail indicator. So basically, a lot of people use the standard indicator. And when we get these specific crosses, I'm sure you guys remember the golden cross and you remember the death cross and these sort of things. This is usually where a lot of people play focus to. So when we get crosses in this, we're lucky. We got in earlier. We got in with trend lines. Trend lines get you in before indicators. Indicators are lagging. But ultimately, this is just confirming again that we might slightly be getting some retail back into the market. And from here, we do have important levels. Now, I just want to show you the power here quick. Now, it doesn't mean that it's too long, but previously we did have the cross in this area. Bitcoin did grow 20% after that. This wasn't in a bull market. This was in a ranging market. Now we're getting the same indicator. Now, before that, we then had in also a ranging market, we had the cross of the MAs. Bitcoin did 20% after that, 17%. Now you get the difference. It all matters on, is this accumulating leg or is this a bullish leg? Is this like bull market sort of leg? We'll soon find out about that. But either way, we're getting the indication flash. Now, if it's a bull leg, it's different. Because when you get the crossover here, Bitcoin did 50% after that. When we had the crossover here, Bitcoin did 53% after that. And you can go back and back. So this ultimately is a good indicator. You can see when it crosses to the downside, we all of a sudden get really big reaction down. And you see when it crosses to the upside, guys, this is why we put so much time in and why we don't get shaken out in the bear markets. Because when you get one of them incredibly right, and this is probably the best example that you will find, that we crossed in this area over here and we literally rampage this thing up all the way to this area. So if you use this indicator, it is a more, not shorter time frame, because a lot of guys like to use the 50 and 200, and I think that's great for investors. But I think if you're more longer term swing sort of vibes, where you like taking profits on the up and you like buying through on the down legs, this is a great indicator for you. You would have seen that this indicator would have got you in the areas of around 10,000, and it would have got you out in the areas of 56,000. And ultimately, it doesn't matter how many times you bought and sold, you would have had a winning strategy majority of the time. So it's a very simple indicator of moving averages, but it's actually pretty good. It takes a little bit of patience. A lot of guys trade it on the crosses. I like to trade it just before trend lines. So I would like to have caught it here before we get through that area. But ultimately, what it means, guys, is if we break through these moving averages and we start to rampage, you just want to hold them as support. So for me, the one that you use, you're looking for the 20 and the 50 to cross, right? That's going to give you a good indication that retail is probably joining in and these sort of things. And then after that, you want to use the 50 moving average as support, because all that it means, guys, is when price is below the line, the moving averages will slowly start to move down. When price is above the line, the moving averages will slightly start to go up. So your key advantage over the rest is not waiting for the cross, is actually waiting to see when do we drop these lines. Because if we drop these moving averages, at some point later, we're going to get the cross to the downside. So the way you want to do it is you want to be laddering in and possibly getting positions slightly before the cross, or you don't have the time, you manage to get it on the cross. That's great. But now the important part is you want it to hold, and it's the 50 moving average, guys, the red one that I have over here. The 20 is a bit too short time frame. That's why we use the 50. And you could see how price along this whole journey over here just respected it. All of a sudden, we cracked it. As soon as we cracked it, something shifted. We then ended up having the cross. Retail started to then panic out, and we started going down in this area. Then you could see all of a sudden how the 50 moving average became a resistance area where we just weren't breaking through. And as soon as we broke through it, you see the cross only came later. So as soon as we broke through it, your indication was the 34, 35 sort of level. The rest of the market got in at 40, because that's only when the cross happens. So the cross is powerful when it comes to retail and these sort of things. But ultimately, you want to catch it earlier of support and resistance, because if we break above this, at some point, we will get the cross. And then once you are in the position, you just want to hold that 50 moving average. And you could see very much over here, as soon as we lost it and we started to lose it, it gave you an indication of building another 20% more of your Bitcoin. And then as soon as we regained it, you see we would have got in at the area of 46 at the zone. The rest of the market only would have got in on the cross, which is basically the 55. So ultimately, the cross for me is when it's starting to get late. It's starting to get later in the move and you're falling more under the sort of retail. Use this, guys. It's very important. And then, like I said, once you're in the position, you want to keep hold of that 50 moving average because you would have got out in this one over here. The rest of the market would have got out over there. So you would have got out at 60K. The rest of the market would have got out at 53K. And you see how it just gives you that slight advantage. Now, again, we are at that area. We are at that zone where we have broken it to the upside. So what does that mean? That now means we are starting to get the possibility of retail. And I'm pretty sure, let's take it now into consideration of rest of the data on the market. We have one resistance over here, the one that Bitcoin's fighting, the one that the bears are trying to hold control, because it is one that starts to, if we break through these levels, the flashing bullish signs do start to come a lot more than what we got previously. Now, that's that area, and that's where we're fighting over here. Now, if we break the area of 21K, the next gap after that is the 23K. By then, you will definitely have a strong cross as we're getting right now, and the moving averages will start to make their way up. Now, on this move up, I want you to use the 50 moving average. I want you to use the 50 moving average as support. And as these moving averages start to make their way up, happy Halloween, love buttons. As this starts to wake its way up, as the market starts to way up, it will come and it will respect it until we show some sort of weakness. So ultimately, guys, the market is turning bullish. The market is looking pretty good. The Dixie is getting rejected. We are starting to get that momentum. Now, we've been fighting very hard to say, when are we finally going to have this bounce? When are we finally going to get it? We're finally at that point where we possibly got it. We got it now. Now, what are the indicators we're going to use going up to make sure that we don't repeat the same mistakes? 50 moving average is one of them, guys. Very important. Then we will use the other ones like support, resistance, these sort of things. Now, let's jump in quickly and go through very, very fast. I don't want to spend long on this. It looks like the stock market, right at a very important trend. It looks like it wants a small short-term rejection as we speak, but we have FOMC this week. And if things go well, we can get a solid breakout. Guys, I'm telling you, we're probably going to be, if things go bullish and we break this trend this week, I'm telling you, stock markets, I don't think it will beat it, but it's going to get very close to all-time high again in this year, which is quite crazy. Now, you could see the same thing here. We've got the 50 and the 20 on the verge of a cross. Why is it not crossed yet? We're not truly through that zone just yet. But if we break this trend and you get the cross of those moving averages, it gives us an indication that there's strength. We're not that far away. We're really not. Stock market took damage this year, but let me just move my little tool. But we are possibly 12 to 13% away from all-time high. Guys, we've seen markets where it can rip in 5 to 8% in one day. So we just always got to be prepared. We got to stop when the markets are bullish, turn to your bullish mindset. Remember what you felt like when the bears were in control, and let's start focusing on where we can get out. But you cannot sit and switch on too late. If you switch on too late bullish, that's how they're going to catch you back into the trap. So that's looking good. Let's look at the US. Now, the US, the 10-year yield, it's broken, the trend. It's testing as we speak. So for me, I want the breakout from the stock market soon, and I want the Bitcoin breakout of 21K soon, because this is where I want rejection, and I want this bad boy to start making its way down. Right now, we did have the first signs of weakness. Now we want it to remain that way. We want to reject them. We want to continue the momentum down. On the dollar, this as well is still in trend. It is still in trend. What I do like is it has dropped the 50 MA. I wanted to hold that down, but ultimately, think about it. Stock market is right on resistance as we speak. Bitcoin's at 21K resistance as we speak. If this finally drops, does it not give us the exact indication we're looking for, that if Bitcoin breaks through 21, 23, 25 comes next? The gaps are big. Stock market, 10, 15%. The gaps are huge. So ultimately, we're paying attention that we have gotten our first lower low in the Dixie, and a lower high here and a break of this will be the ultimate end of the year that we actually want. Now, this is the last chart we do need for that to officially happen. Now, one more thing I do want to show here as well is we also have the USDT dominance. Now, this is just showing money that's in USDT, in dollars in the market. And this has obviously been rampaging up this year because, everyone's been getting out and panicked out of the market. But now we're at the point where we're approaching another main support. And if we break the support, it's just working the same thing. Dollar index breaks. Stock markets breaks trend. Bitcoin breaks 21. This breaks down. Guys, I think it can get pretty crazy. And we shouldn't bank out if the market's going crazy like this, a 30K Bitcoin, a 25K Bitcoin. We can't rule that out if every single one of the major indicators are showing that. So this one is on support right now. So it can indicate a correction at any point. I hope you guys are getting used to not chasing pumps right now and buying pullbacks. I spoke about it on Saturday. Don't buy the pump. Yesterday we had a dump off. That's where you start loading up. And I do have quite a bit of short-term trades, which I'll get into, guys, shortly, on what I'm doing right now. But this is another chart for us to pay a lot of attention to. Anything else? No. Okay. Let's jump in. I see Bitcoin's at 20. So this is sort of my view on Bitcoin right now. Bullish scenario. Okay. I have a bearish scenario. The bearish scenario, not bearish, but buy up area. From here, Bitcoin's just hugging this too much. And I kind of feel it's going to pop its head through. And when it pops its head through 21K, I think it rips pretty quick towards the 22 to 23K area. So for me, this is one of my bullish scenarios over here. After that, I do have RSIs getting high. So I do think that there is a pullback. Now, my question about it is, do we pump for the next 2 days and then the FOMC creates a short-term pullback? Possibly. Or do we go sideways now? Or maybe we pull back now before the FOMC and then we pump into those areas. We'll soon see. But what I can see with the RSIs is we've got a few more days of extreme bullishness at some point. Either a small pullback now and then we push strong. But when this daily gets to the top, I do see a decent, few days pullback coming up. And for me, that happens when we get to the area of 23. Small pullback to around the 20. It is a 10% drop. So you want to time your buys and sells correctly now. Otherwise, you're going to get trapped into the wrong cycle. And then after that, we can be looking at, do we hold support? Are we looking strong? We can be looking at the next higher levels. But ultimately, this is what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Now, the second play, like I said, is we actually get rejection here. We come back down. For me, Bitcoin's still healthy if it's above 19,500. If it does get there, I'm adding more longs and whatever I can at that time. And then we can possibly break through that area, maybe even more. Like we can't deny that maybe it does break through more, but ultimately this is what I'm looking at as the next sort of push. And that 50 and 20 MA cross sort of works with that, right? Because we were speaking possibly 10, 15% once we get the cross. And we look here, 7, maybe even higher. We'll see. We'll see as we go. But that's sort of what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. Now, reason why I'm still thinking that there's the possible leg up. The altcoins, they stopped in a weird position on the weekend. And that's why I sort of thought that where they stopped for me, there's no major. Look at ETH where we speak right now. ETH's getting the cross. Do you see why, guys? Why I'm saying you want to use the 50 MA? You want to use the break of the 50 MA because now only the retail are starting to FOMO in. Only now are they looking, we're getting across here. This is where we should be getting in. So this gets you in a lot easier. But what you can be happy about is the rest of the market starting to think bullish. And you can see by this indicator over here. Now, where we stopped on ETH, there's a little bit of resistance here. But for me, this isn't the main resistance. The main one is up here. And then a decent pullback. So the RSI is getting quite high. And it's sort of showing that it's crunch time for today, tomorrow, for the market to really start to accelerate. But ultimately, what I'm looking at here is I want ETH to go another 10, 15%. Then we get some sort of pullback, and then we can start looking at the next sort of areas. So for me, it's still showing that the altcoins, I don't think the high was hit for a lot of them. Now, let's go look at it to the rest. Let's go look at it at Solana. Solana's getting there. It is getting to the area of major resistance, definitely. But there's also a big gap. So if Bitcoin does break the 21, Solana goes to $39 to $40. It's this main resistance over here. We can have a short-term rejection. This is the what I spoke about. If Bitcoin goes and tests 19.5 or 19.8 before the FOMC, and that will bring us down to these areas. And for me, early 30s is my buy-in on spots for Solana. But ultimately, if it breaks through here, it's looking good. Now, Solana, it's nice to see that it is playing catch-up. There's time, but there's not that much time left for the bulls until there's a pullback. So what I'm trying to say is don't FOMO unnecessarily on your spot account. Short-term trades, different story. I'll go through that now. You can trade short-term trades because you can protect yourself, and that's fine. But wait for your spot entries. If you want to add more SOL, you want to add more of these tokens, I kind of feel wait to add more to the positions, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, that's my personal opinion on it. Let's go look through a few here quick. Matic looking great. Everything's sort of just holding up as we speak. Now, Cardano's a pretty interesting one because this one, we do have the daily trend, and it did play out perfectly where it broke through over there. We've come and we've tested this area over here. And if Bitcoin breaks 21K now, I see Cardano ripping. I really do. And I see it going to the major resistance of 52 cents, possibly to the 60 cents after that. So keep an eye. So what are you doing right now? Dominance is going flat in the last few hours now because it's waiting. It's waiting to see what Bitcoin does. But if Bitcoin breaks 21, what are you doing? What are you getting into? These sort of things are very important. Now, remember what I told you guys about the 50 moving average. Where's Cardano right now? Just under it. So if Bitcoin breaks the 21K, we have that massive gap. Cardano breaks the 50 moving average. I just showed you guys on ETH on what it is. If you catch it correctly, you would have caught it there. And that breakout in that area over there. That's where Cardano is in that area. So what you're doing is expect a pullback at any point. But as soon as that 21K is erased on Bitcoin, you got to know what you want to be looking at. And use this indicator on all the altcoins. Any altcoins that you guys want to buy, go use the 50. Go look where the cross is. Am I late? If they're crossing, you're slightly late. That's just the truth about it, because now you're forming semi under the retail because you're buying slightly late. But if they're breaking 50 MA now, if Bitcoin breaks the 21K, now you're catching early. So you want to find, am I early on this altcoin or am I late? Now, let's go do the same thing on this bad boy. Doge. Let's go have a look. Look here. There's the break. Okay? 6 cents. There's the cross. 75 cents. Do you see the difference here? All of a sudden, you have a trend line to back it. And all of a sudden, look how this coin just starts to absolutely rip. So you want to use this indicator to see if you're early or late. That would have got you in before the break of the trend, which was really good. And now all of a sudden, Doge is on its way. Let's actually speak about Doge for a second and see where is this chart now on the higher time frame skills and on the high time frame charts. So what it did is it had one resistance that it did fight. It smashed completely through that. It did go to the next. But ultimately, for me, the 18 cents to the 20 cent mark is probably the resistance that if Bitcoin breaks 21, Doge goes to those sort of areas. That's still huge. It's still another 40 to 50%. Now, how do you trade Doge? Because Doge, it's quite tough right now, is by using bull flags. Bull flags, bull flags, bull flags. I'm going to hound you guys on this because it's a powerful, powerful, powerful tool to use in a bull leg and in a bull market. Now, look over here on Doge. You want to see it go up. You want to see it go sideways, and now we've got a damn bull flag, baby. Now, I won't be buying spot. You're way too late. That 50 MA cross, that was the time to buy Doge spot. But it is a coin that's moving crazy. So if you're looking some short-term trades and stuff, the bull flags are perfect. The close of the 1 hour here, boom, there's a possibility we go back to the 15. That's a 10, 15% trade for you. Maybe we even go to the higher targets of the 18 to the 20 after that. But use the close over here. Put a stop loss under the low inside that trend, and then use these as TPs. Use this high, use this high. After that, you've got 18 and 20. So the way I'll set my take profits, I'll set one at 14 cents, I'll set one at 15 cents, I'll set one at 18 cents, and I'll set one at 20 cents. 25, 25, 25, 25. That's my exit plan. But right now, we cannot push down Doge. Elon's pumping it right now. I don't know if you guys seen Twitter. Twitter's got new users. Twitter's starting to show a lot more momentum right now. And it's looking damn good. So there's hype here right now, and it's moving. And when this coin moves, we then have this coin that moves too, SHIB. Now, I can't say buy this coin. I just can't for me. But it is a meme coin, and it is ripping too. When we have these meme coins moving, they have at times been startups of decent bull legs, really good bull legs. SHIB and Doge aren't small in market cap. They're bringing in a lot of money into this market. So we got to know that these guys play big roles for us. They are shit coins. DogeCoin, I don't think it's a shit coin anymore. I think it's a good coin now, actually. It's got the boss behind it. But these coins are important because they bring retail. I'm sad, I'm sorry to say it, but they bring in stupid money. And in order for someone to make money, someone has to lose money. We are working our asses off through the whole bear market to become smart money, right? This is what brings in the stupid money. Sadly, we have to feed on these people. That's how we make money, on those guys that are losing. So very important to understand, when you see these running like this, it can be a start to something big. You got to be thinking. Now, the next big one, guys, and this is for the spot. This is for the spot, guys. It probably will be fun in the next while to trade short time. But right now, we're looking for some spot entries. How do you make money in this current market right now? Is getting a good damn entry and holding. That's it. That's how you make money in this market. Too many ins and outs. Have a small part of your portfolio that you trade in and out. That's fine. But how you make money in this market is getting a damn good entry and holding it. That's it. And laddering out on really high time frame areas and these sort of things. ChainLink. Look at this. From all-time high, $52 is where we're at. Long-term trend. Look where we're at right now as we speak. So for me, if this pops its head out and we close outside this week, I think we're going to have a ChainLink run. And if you look at the ChainLink run, not only does it break this trend over here, it breaks this horizontal over here too. Now, where does it go next? Our big ass 50 MA on the weekly, important. Smash the like button. Smash. And comment below. I want to know what tokens you want me to chart, guys, so I can make sure that I got them for you. But ultimately from here, it goes to the weekly 50 MA. Okay, $12. We're $8 right now. That's one resistance. After that, we got 20. After that, we got 28. All that I know is, remember last week where it sat, 3 weeks ago when Bitcoin did this, and I said this will be the biggest breakout. I said it, guys. I did say it. I love, I'm the most humble person on here, right? But I take stick when things are not right and stuff. I got it damn right. 3 weeks ago, I said this is the biggest breakout of Bitcoin for the year on that major trend line, and that's exactly what it did. And we just had to learn to be patient. So put yourself back in that mind that this coin is looking at doing the same breakout that Bitcoin did in that time. Okay? Now, it does take a little bit of time for that, but ultimately, this can be a really big breakout for ChainLink. You want to be early. You're buying Doge now, you're late. You're buying other tokens, you're late. This could be an early one for you. Keep eye on this. I think the major breakout for me is around 8.3, a close of that this week. After that, I think it's great. And I think, making money in this market, get a good entry, hold, and focus on TPs. So I'd be buying ChainLink if it closes out there. I'll set one TP at $13. I'll set another one at 20, and I'll set another one at $25. And I'll go sit on my hands and I'll relax. As it's going up, I'll then start protecting, and I'll come back on this and help you guys with this. But ChainLink for me is nice and early. Now, DOT for me, same thing. Now, look at DOT when it comes to weekly. Let me just remove some of these lines here quickly. I was playing around quite a bit. Let's put the line back in. There we go. Okay. Now, you look at DOT. Same thing. Okay. We want to be early on these tokens, guys. DOT, let's make the screen big. There we go. DOT now is breaking the weekly too. Okay. And it's at the verge of breaking the 20 MA. Now, what I like about this and the signal that I'm getting here is this big gap between the two. Now, what they say about moving averages is when moving averages split, at some point, they always come to meet. Always. So the further they get from each other, at some point, they come when they turn. And in the history of any of the tokens, they always come back and return at some point. There's not enough data here on Binance to show you the rest, but you can go look at it on any token. So ultimately, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a big gap. Do you see how big this gap got at that point over there? At some point, it always comes and meets. So for me, this is great. Now, if we can get a weekly close, which is basically around $7 on DOT, above the 20 weekly moving average, that gives me the indication that we go now to the 50. Maybe we get rejected. That's where I'll be setting TPs, right? But now let's go line it up with the rest of the chart. There is resistance. Here is a huge gap. We got the one resistance in this area over here. Great. And then we have this big one up over here. About being early, guys, about being early. So if we get the weekly close here, I'll be buying. I'll be setting one take profit at $13, and I'll be setting another take profit at $17, sitting at the 50 moving average line over there. So DOT, another one. See, I'm not chasing too much of the tokens that are already incredibly down. And you could see I'm using weekly and way higher time frames through those times. Now, shorter time frame plays. I spoke about Chiliz, guys. I gave you the buys last week. Boom. There goes Chiliz. So well done to all of those that got Chiliz. We called it. We got it. Great. That's looking good. So Chiliz, I think, is on its way to something great. Waiting for Bitcoin to break 21. and waiting for this to obviously break the 28 cents, and it does well. No buys just yet. The only buys for me is around 20 cents on Chiliz, but I will come back to that later on in the week. We got Fantom also fighting. Now, Fantom I like, because if it breaks this, there's our entries last week, guys. Boom, 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 boom. Great, great, great entries. No entries yet just yet, but no selling for me, guys. Either I'm adding more, the early 21 cents, those sort of things. But I'm basically waiting for around 30 cents, 35 cents for this to play out. Cardano, I spoke about Near Protocol. This one for me is pretty interesting. I do have tons of lines, but I don't want to confuse anyone with this. So what we do have with Near is we have it far away from the trend. And for me, we're still looking at early, right? Let's go look at our moving averages and see where we're at. We just broke above the 20. So it means it's going to go test possibly next to 50. And then what it does is approaches the main trend line that it made of the high of $6 in August, and then goes through those areas. So the way I would want to trade this is we have one major support, and that's this support area over here. 20 moving average is now also your support zone. So we are still slightly just above here. So this isn't leverage entries, guys. Spot entries, spot entries. So I'd be buying in this area, and I'll be protecting myself below the 20 moving average. Ultimately, I'll be setting one TP in this area over here, and I'll be setting another one, which is around about 3.5, and I'll be setting another one around 3.8, and I'd obviously be holding some for the long term in case for the bigger run. But Near for me is earlier. Let's speak about our Theta trade. Going really well right now and just not pulling back. Do you see why, guys? You work your asses off. That was the indication on the 50 moving average. It's really hard to get entries once the coin's already gone. It's really tough, guys, and you'll see this many times. But what I'm waiting from Theta, I got my entries in over here. Stop losses are basically under the 50 moving average. But from here, if Bitcoin breaks 21, I see it breaking 1.3, and I see us going all the way to 1.6. Then what I see us doing is if Bitcoin really goes bullish this year, is I see us going to the 50 weekly MA, and that's 2.3 to 2.4. Huge, 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 huge. Now I have massive leverage positions at those entries at $1. It's massive, guys. I'm going for $500,000 reward if we go to 2.4. That's my goal. But it took me 3 stoppages in that week. It took me a loss of $6,000 to get that damn entry. So are we starting to get the understanding? I'll come back here shortly. Like, are we going to fight with Sheldon or stuff when we get stopped out? No, because when we get the damn entry, look at it. Guys, everything for me is like, it was every single stoppage I got the last 3 months is worth it. 100% worth it. So let's never complain about small losses again. Let's understand that we're working for that one damn entry. And Theta is the perfect example of that. Let's look at what else I wanted to show you guys. I know Rand's going to speak about monkey balls later. They got something big that's coming through over there. Render, I see Render also woke up quite a bit. It's now previously, as we speak, turning previous high into support. And if you're holding Render, I think it goes to around 70 cents, and that's probably a profit point. I won't buy now. Use your 50 MAs as buys, guys. Use them as buys. You want to hold them as supports. Protect yourself under that. If you're catching 20, you're early. Okay, but ultimately 50 is the one that you're using to hold. So you can use the 20 moving average to get entries because it would have got you in over there. Then we would have broken the 50, and ultimately you'd be using the 50 now to hold. You know, so use the one to get an entry, use the one to hold. Just have a strategy, guys. If this market erupts, what you're going to do if it does continue to move. Now, the next one that looks pretty good is 1 inch. Now, 1 inch has the possibility to become 2 inch. Possibility. Maybe we get a 2 inch instead of a 1 inch. This is breaking a long 4 hour. So yeah, for me, I'm not crazy bullish on the long-term holds, but short-term trades possibility here, the early 60 cents, because I am looking at around 73 cents as a target on this move for 1 inch. So 1 inch pretty good as well as we're looking at. And is there anything else that we're basically looking at right now? Not just yet. So let me show you guys 1 or 2 of my short-term trades and how I'm trading this market short time frame, and what I'm doing on the competition and my leverage short-term trades. So let's jump in on the 1 hour. There we go. So what I'm doing is a lot of 1 hour flags, many of them. So for me, I've opened now. Cardano broke this one this morning. So I took a leverage long, and ultimately I'll be adding more if it does come to the areas over here. So if you have a look at my positions, I have a Cardano long and I have a Solana long. Solana one's creaming it right now, doing really well. So what I'm doing is over here, if we can get any more and I can add more Cardano position, I'll be adding more in this area over here. And ultimately, I'm taking profits back at the high of 4.4. So for me, that's a great trade. It's a 7 to 8% on leverage. That's great. That's a 70, 80, 90% trade for me on this one. So I'm Cardano definitely. And then the second one that I got was Solana. Solana, use the flags, guys. Use the flags because the flags are very important. So as soon as you're seeing multiple touches on a line, use it. Get the breakout, get in there and protect because now you can see how we're moving. Now, Sol for me, as I said, I think this bad boy goes up to these areas. If it does go to 38, I think I'm by far in the lead in the trading competition. That's ultimately what I'm building towards. If it goes there, I think I'm on 1,000 on ByBit and I'm on 1,400% on BitGet, which would possibly put me way above the rate. I'm not trading lots. I'm trading for those big moves and for the big ones. So Solana is the next one. For me, it's not an entry as we speak. So Cardano is more the bullish one there for me. AVAX, it gets hard, guys. It gets really hard to get these shorter time frame near protocol. So on the pullback, remember, using great risk management here if you're trading. So if you do get the pullback in these areas over here, near looks like the one to move. And the way you just trade these guys is you're buying the retest here and you just sell the previous highs, if not a little bit higher. And that's your 7-8%. That on a 5x, you make 35%. You know what I mean? Like just be consistent through those times and use small capital because you can grow small capital to a really big amount just by being strategic through all of it. Let's go look at ETH. So ETH, same thing. So there's a possible ETH trade here as well. Use your 1 hours, trend line, draw through there, boom, cool. So if you get that retest, there's your entry. There's your TP. Boom. That's how we make the short-term cash. Nice and easy. Don't go for too much to that. Don't be greedy. Take the profits. We have a beautiful range right now. Fantom, keep an eye on Fantom. Remember, guys, trading portfolios, small. You make a lot of money in your spot positions now. So trade small amounts here. Definitely small amounts. But this is another one here. Fantom. So Fantom closes out there. Boom. You're buying. Stop loss. And basically what you're doing is we're looking at where's the next high after this. So let's zoom out. There's the next high. There will be my TP. So let's go work out the risk to reward on this trade to see what it would be. Would basically be an entry in the level of 23. So let's go see percentage-wise on what that is. 6 to 7%. Cool. That's how you're basically looking at trading a lot of these tokens right now. Chiliz, I won't. It's been moving a bit too much. Dot's gone. ChainLink gone. Boom! Come on, ChainLink. Come on. What's XRP doing? Not much. Okay. That's it, guys. I've given you plenty of short-term trades. I've given you a lot of views, usual moving averages. Stop worrying about, oh, are we going to fake out? Are we going to this? Things are flashing bullish right now. Things could get very more bullish. Start working on an exit plan. Start working on a protection plan. What are you going to do? Bitcoin does go to 30K. What are you doing? Use the 50 moving average. I've taught you a very powerful tool. Smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button. And let's get the damn volume back in this place because it is bull time. And we're having a lot of fun again. I'll see you all on tomorrow's show. Much love, Banter fam.